Good afternoon.
Hey, Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good, Matthew. My name is Adam Katchmarchi. I'm the executive director of the National Drowning Prevention Alliance and wanted to bring you in and congratulate you on being named our June Water Safety Champion of the Month. We were so happy and excited to hear about your efforts, what you're doing in your local community to really address the problem of drowning, especially with young children. And we have a little bit of an extra surprise for you.
Okay.
We have another champion who heard about what you were doing and wanted to join us to offer his congratulations as well. So I'm going to have Greg Louganis join us, actor, author, and four-time Olympic gold medalist, who
Oh
is
my God.
often called the greatest diver of all time. Greg, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. And Matthew, congratulations. It's incredible work that you're doing and really saving lives. It's just
Thank you.
wonderful.
I'm honored that that you guys are recognizing me for my hard work. It really means a lot that after all this hard work that I'm going to be able to help even more lives now, just not here in my county or in my city, that hopefully people around the United States can help from this.
And
Definitely, for sure.
And Greg, I know, from one water safety champion to another, I know you're a champion in many aspects around the water, but I know you also kind of celebrate being a water safety champion and keeping safety kind of front of mind anytime we're around the water.
For sure, for sure. I mean, the 5 layers that NDPA advocates, barriers and alarms, supervision, water competency, life jackets, emergency preparedness. It's so important. Also, like with the life safety jackets, to get in the pool and see what they are like and be introduced to a tool. It's important that we familiarize ourselves before we get into that situation. Growing up, I mean, I taught myself how to swim when I was 2, and my godmother had a pool. And so supervision was key. But we have so many distractions now these days with our phones and all, that it only takes seconds, really, so supervision and focus and and it's just so important.
Yeah. Well, I know both of you are now our water safety champions. And Matthew, do you have, I know the other night your school presented you with the Water Safety Champions Medal. Do you have yours there?
Yes, I do. There's actually a big surprise. I had no idea this was happening at all. And then at my award ceremony, we had a little pamphlet, and I saw this, and I was like, no way, this could be me. Because there's a lot of lifeguards here at my school, and then they're going through, and then they do it, and then my assistant principal says my name, and I look up and I look around, and everyone's just, their jaw just drops. And then I walk up, and then my principal handed me the medal, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. And I was in shock for words. I literally had no idea what I was saying. And then my friends started asking me about this, and I had no idea what was going on. And then my mom pulled me aside later that night, and she's like, all right, you're now the water safety champion for June. And I was like, oh my God. And then I started reading your story. I read your story, Greg, and I was just blown away that now I'm able to be like you, and you're a 4-time Olympic champion in diving. And I'm not to that level in any way, shape, or form, but now I can say I'm part of an elite group of people that are trying to give back to the community, which is truly means a lot to me as a swimmer, as a mentor to young students now, and even as a swim coach.
Yeah, it's all about the lives that we touch, right? And you've touched so many lives, and be able to to pass that on to others, and the awareness, and keeping the water a safe place and fun.
Mhm.
So it's incredible work that you're doing.
Thank you
And
very much.
And I think, Matthew, I think you now have a matching medal to Greg with a water safety champion medal. So you
Oh,
can both hold
sweet.
those up and see you both are water safety
Wow.
champions. Matthew, I wanted to ask you, what drove you to do this? I know this was a school project, but what inspired you to really create this program for the young children in your community? And did you feel something was missing?
So in our county, we have a mental health program where twice a month people come in and we talk about mental health problems. And I wanted to create something where I can do that for swimming. So I created this program with knowledge that I've learned from teaching my own personal swim lessons, with other opinions and other websites I looked at when I was researching about this. And I came down and I found three topics similar to your supervision aspects that you have in your five pillars. I talked about swimming with a buddy, swimming near a lifeguard, and ultimately having that, if someone's having a problem, what tools can you use as someone that you need to save, to save them. So I started by talking with a buddy. I'm an older brother. I have a younger brother, and when I was younger, I was that person that had to make sure that he was staying safe.
Uh,
And then as being myself, I'm also a lifeguard. And when I'm up on the stand, I need to have a connection with someone as myself that's a competitive swimmer, or a 6-month-old baby with their mom trying to do the diaper dippers. So trying to find that connection with those young students so they understand, hey, I know not all of us can have a lifeguard with us 24/7, but if you can go to a pool or a beach that has that lifeguard, you're at an instrumental advantage when there is a problem, because you never know what's going to happen. And then making sure where, if you're at a beach or at a pool, what safety equipment do you have? When I was talking with my students, I said, make a circle. Circle is the orange flotation device that we use here in Florida at the beach and at the pools. And then now they have that memory in their head of, hey, when my friend's having a problem, I'm going to go get the orange buoy and I'm going to throw it to them. So I was trying to just keep it short and simple, but I want to make sure that I'm still encouraging. I don't want to discourage anyone from going in the pool. So I
yeah.
was informing them to make sure, I want to make sure you stay safe. And that was my whole entire goal of my presentation, just to make sure that those kids are having fun in the water, but also making sure that they're having fun and safe.
Yeah, and Greg, one of the things that I just love about what Matthew just said is, we need this type of, person, this someone who's willing to create this type of program in every community. And I love that Matthew's a high school student and willing to do this and give back to his community and make sure people are safer. But what do you think we need to do to encourage more young people to follow in Matthew's footsteps? Because unfortunately, our drowning statistics are going in the wrong direction, and drowning is now the single leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4. So it'd be great if we could get more kids involved.
Definitely. And what you were saying about, that buddy system, growing up, when I was growing up, I had two older cousins, and one was a competitive swimmer and water polo player. So, we would buddy up. It was like, okay, you're going out to the pool. Then, then it was my cousin's responsibility to keep an eye on the little ones, and it's great to have that kind of responsibility. And, it's very empowering, and to keep it fun. And that's the key. What you were saying, Matthew, is have fun around the water, but safety is first. It should be first, and awareness and supervision, and competency, to have that confidence that you are safe in whatever environment you're in.
One of the things we often hear, unfortunately, are the words "I didn't know" around water safety. I hear a lot of parents who, unfortunately, have lost children tell me, they didn't know drowning was the single leading cause of death for children. They didn't know the simple steps they could take. And, Matthew, I'm going to ask you, what would you want to share with your peers about this? I mean, what could you say to get them involved in this mission? Because it's really going to take all of us to really bring down those drowning numbers, especially in Florida where you're located. Florida has a really difficult childhood drowning problem. So seeing someone like you take, charge and really want to change that is really empowering.
Yeah, my major thing is when I'm talking to my peers at my school, and even when I'm teaching swim lessons with parents, is I ask them to take a basic water safety class. As Greg was saying, just knowing just a little bit of information about it is going to go light years for everyone. So I recommend parents to take a weekend Red Cross water safety class. That's just a quick hour-and-a-half class. They learn just about the basic water safety topics that I talked about with my presentation, and even just a little bit more. And then I also recommend older siblings like myself and other siblings that they should take a CPR class. Here at my school, we actually, after we take the PSAT, everyone's mandated to learn CPR. So just these little steps that every school can take just to even just learn CPR. If everyone knew how to do CPR, then we would be not just saving drowning people, but also other people outside of water safety. And I think these steps are the first steps, and we need to take many steps to get it lowered. When I was talking in my presentation to a panel of judges, they didn't believe me how high it is here in Brevard County. And I actually had to pull up my phone and actually pull up the CDC and say, this is the actual stat. Like, here is, because the judge didn't believe me how high the drowning rate is, and she was blown away. And then later that evening, she sent me an email personally and said, I'm truly sorry for doubting you and your information. I would like to help you get it into the classroom. And even now, we've had some changes on the top part of our education program here in Brevard County. But my principal is going to try to help me implement these programs in the next coming years with our new superintendent. So I'm hoping that after I graduate from Nova Southeastern, that I can come back here in Brevard County and go into these classrooms and get into those discussions. I think that constant reminder every day, or even once a month, twice a month, just that constant reminder of how to be safe is super important.
Yeah. Well, and Matthew, I mean, you are a true water safety champion, both as I know you're a American Red Cross water safety instructor and a lifeguard, and you are really being an excellent role model, not just in those roles, but championing water safety across your entire community. And I know that is one thing, I do a lot of news media interviews and talk to a lot of parents around the country. And that is, I've already mentioned the I didn't know, but that is, one of the things. I've done TV interviews where the anchor, is shocked when I say drowning is the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4. It outranks motor vehicle accidents, gun deaths in that age range. It is truly, unfortunately going unnoticed. And, Greg is a world champion diver. I'm sure everyone, poses questions to you or wants to know things. Do you run into that same thing, that just many people are unaware of the risks around the water and how to keep themselves safe?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people make assumptions. They make assumptions that somebody is paying attention and watching and supervising, where you need clarity. You need clarity of who is who's taking a look at the situation and keeping things safe. Also, like with a life jacket, well, how does it work? You have to introduce yourself to tools that are going to help you. So introduce how that's going to help you. How are you going to float in your life jacket, or if you have water wings, or whatever that is, whatever flotation device that you might be able to have at your disposal, but how to use it. So it's really important. And you can make it into a game, especially for kids, making it into a game. That's how they learn. So keep it fun and keep it safe.
Yeah. Well, and, you bring up, even, life jackets. We see a lot of teenagers, a lot of parents and teens are unaware that the drowning risk, especially for young men, triples at age 15. It is a real big problem. And a lot of those drownings are happening in natural bodies of water. And, where we may be, competent in a 85-degree pool with no current, when you go to the ocean or you go into a natural body of water, that changes the dynamic a little bit. And, you bring up a life jacket, if we, could have more adults and teenagers wearing those devices, we would see a substantial drop in drowning in that age range as well. So, really, really critical advice. And this has just been such a pleasure having both of you on and getting to talk a little bit of water safety with two just amazing water safety champions. But before we wrap up, I just want to give the opportunity to Greg, you first, to say any final words before we wrap up today.
Well, you brought up the accident rate with, as far as 15-year-olds.
Mhm.
A lot of times you have to know what you're diving into. I'm a diver, so I dive into everything, right? So you have to know what you're diving into, and a lot of the accidents that do happen in that age range are diving into shallow, less than 3 feet of water. So know the environment that you're diving into, go in feet first, so safety, but also the joy of being in the water, and it should be fun, but like I said, safety should come first.
It should, and thank you for teaming up with us to, help spread that awareness this summer. It is really critical. Our whole campaign right now is just to make people more aware, to make sure we don't hear those words, "I didn't know" anymore, and to really save lives across all the age groups. And Matthew, congratulations.
Thank you.
Any final words? We're just so excited to celebrate you as our Water Safety Champion of the Month for June, and really highlight the great work you're doing especially in an area where drownings are increasing, unfortunately, and we really need to see impacts made.
I'm very grateful that both of you are congratulating me on this. I'm very grateful that you are going to put my story out, and hopefully, we're going to try to send this out countywide. My school's very excited for this, and we're going to try to, in the next couple of years, try to implement a new program. A lot of our high schools here do have pools on campus. My high school does not, which sucks. But we have another high school less than a mile away here from my school, and they have a pool with a dive well. Just want to let you know, Greg, that we can now start implementing these classes. And my school is going to try to bring this up in the discussions now. I've spoken to other principals, and they're going to try to bring this up. So I think that all of us together, even parents and older siblings, going back to what you said, Adam, parents don't know these things. And if parents don't know these things, they can't show their young children. I'm a psychology major. I know all the ins and outs of young children, and young children are going to mimic what those older parent figures are going to do. So if the parents are going to wear the life jackets, as you say, they're not going to wear the life jackets, and that's where the problem is going to come in. So if we can get parents and older siblings to be that good example for young children, then we're going to be setting ourselves up for great success.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you both. And it's just an honor to partner with both of you and celebrate both of you as champions and helping to spread the word, keep people safe this summer. And Matthew, just really best of luck to you as you head off to college and the next adventure in your life. And thank you for keeping water safety front and center. I can't wait to see where you go in life, and keep this message going and the impacts you're going to have, not just on your community, but on the world, truly. So thank you to both of you.
And Matthew, on my end, thank you for all the work that you're doing, because you are making a difference. I hope you know that and embrace that you are making a difference and you are saving lives.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Very
I'm an Olympian. That really means a lot. That means a lot to me. That really does. Thank you, both of you, for taking the time to interview me.
Absolutely. Well, thanks to both of you, and let's get back to work going out there keeping people safe around the water.
Yes, sir.